Good evening, race fans. I'm Tom Spanners Watson.
And I'm Frank the Guru Gibbs.
Welcome to the DSPN. We've got a huge show for you tonight, so stick around. There's lots to see, lots for you to enjoy. Let's crack into it. Right, first up in the news, Slanman Customs have got their timers almost ready. Head over to our Facebook group, there's a post there, or head to Slanman Customs on Facebook for more on that. And from us, the Diecast International Race Series is getting very close. This is a true international tournament. We've got 4 tracks, RTR, Flat Rabbit Racing, Jackson Pass and ourselves in this competition. Keep an eye out for that one starting soon. And of course, the latest Diecast Racing report is out. Make sure you go and check that out. It's got a great article on the 8 modders.
In the tips section, I wanted to highlight Red Pill Racing's wheel alignment jig. This is a great little thing. It's very, very simple, but very cool. If you've ever had problems aligning your axles properly, you really want to check this video out. And we'll also put a link in the description, not just to this video, but to a whole discussion on Redline Derby about wheel alignment jigs and making your own.
We kick off with the drag racing tonight over at Michael's Diecast Garage, where he continued on with the Charger Summer. So these are some of the top builders in the country sending their cars to different tracks for some incredibly exciting and very close racing. Check that one out.
Red Pill Racing had some other very tight races. These were just stock cars from what we could tell. And look at those times. There's like fractions of a second between them. It's absolutely brilliant.
Diecast Dragger had his grudge match drags. Now this was his original track, but with a difference. So it was actually laned the entire way this time. So it was straight drag racing, all about pure speed, no chaos with open track or anything like that. Have a look at that one.
Now, a new channel to us, we race things. We found out about these guys just this week, and I really like this. It goes from that 6 lane to an open lane. So it's not just about speed, you've got to be able to handle that in a straight line as well. And you can see there the blue car just very nicely straight through the whole thing, whereas the others just got completely loose.
And then Wallside Diecast Racing had quite a wet event. You can see the rain pouring down there. And check out this Jaguar out in front here. So I believe this was the XJ220. So it makes that first one fine, but then the rain starts to affect the grip on the car. And check this out. Absolutely massive wipeout off the side of the wall there.
And then Josh over at Rust Belt Racing continued on with the food truck Friday night fights. So much fun. I just love those. Have a look at that. They'll be racing again tonight.
And tournaments, 3D Bot Maker moved into the Camaro Summer Finals. And this was great. There was actually carnage aplenty this time. It was really weird. Like normally on his track there's maybe 1 or 2 crashes, but there were cars going off the track, they were rolling. It was absolutely brutal and some very fun racing. I mean, like people way out in front and you see the carnage at the back there.
Wow, that's really unusual on his track, but fun to watch. Then RTR Diecast Racing League carried on with their Firebird versus Camaro tournament, and this particular one was my race, so I just thought I'd show you this one. I'm in kit there. It's a beautiful casting. I've always loved kit. Knight Rider's such a cool program. I loved that back in the 80s. And look at that. Absolutely smoked the competition.
Wow, mate, you were well out in front. Nicely done. Then Hot Wheels Calgary continues on with his daily races. So this track is really cool. I mean, it's a very small space. If you've seen his track making video, it's a very short space, but he's managed to cram a lot into it with the lanes and the fat track and the curves and it's all sorts. Very cool. Have a look at that one.
And another new channel to us, but it's been around a long time, and that's Chapman Films. They had their Sloppy Joe 400 NASCAR race, and these guys are pretty brutal on the rules, which is kind of what we're following with the NASCAR tournament that we're running coming up, where if you flip before the finish line, that's it basically. You're toast. Again, it's a short track, but so much action happens in such a short space of time. It's great.
And Nine's Diecast. Some more great racing on this track. It's another one of these tracks that goes from a lane through to a wide track, and I really like that transition because it just allows a little bit of overtaking, allows for a little bit of chaos in there, and you know we're all about the chaos. Actually, speaking of chaos, we've picked up the catchphrase no chaos, no fun. And I'd like to thank Jim D from Indiana Diecast Racing for that one. He first mentioned it. We're totally stealing it. Thanks very much, Jim. Go over and check out Indiana Diecast Racing League. Some great racing there.
We Don't Make a Run continued on with his race series. Now this time he's actually put rails down there, and these things are wickedly long, but they just make it down this track really nicely. You can see that it's an absolute monster track with all sorts of things going on. You've got humps and dips and just brilliant. Have a look at that one.
Then the Amigos continued on with their family and friends tournament, and I wanted to show you this race here. So you see the BMW well out in front, but then the other car catches right up, then nose to tail, and then boom, this gets smacked over at the end. Now I believe the other car is a Dodge Charger Daytona, I believe. And then this was another race later on, just going sideways over it.
And Fraser Ridge have kicked off their Java Cup. Wicked carnage in this one as well, just coming straight out of this tunnel. Guys get very loose. I don't know what's causing it, but you'll see in some of the replays, you see them come out and they just get flipped right up and over. People are changing lanes. It's quite incredible, really.
Wow, that's amazing. And then moving into street racing. We kick off with 3D Botmaker and King of the Mountain. He is now up to Tournament 2, round number 8, or race number 8 I should say. And talking of carnage on this track, but there was some brilliant driving and overtaking. And you see there the Woody getting pushed off, but in this one here, gets his revenge straight away by pushing the other guy off the track. So very exciting stuff.
And then Simon over at Hot Car Track continued on with his Road Warriors, and check out Redline Salvage Inc. in the red GT here. Pushing, almost gets stuck. It's a slow time, but he still takes out the win. This thing is absolutely unstoppable on Simon's track, and we've got a couple at the Canyon, and I've got to say they're fast. And then this race here was well behind and zips right through at the end. Look at this. Absolutely brilliant bit of driving.
And talking of brilliant bit of driving, I absolutely love Flat Rabbit. Love the track, love the production, and the story that they tell. So it's not just about racing with these guys. They're telling great stories, you know, lots of action on this track. So there you see one of the scars. You need to check out their channel to find out what that is. But I love that they booby-trapped the track for them. And then this bit of racing here, we're going to show a replay. Look at that bit of driving, just pulls right in front of that Mustang. Absolutely stunning.
And then Transport Diecast Racing, another good channel, great track. I mean, this is absolutely brilliant. There's lots of twists and turns, chicanes, a small jump, and he was doing time trials this time around, and this is pretty much real time, I believe. I don't think he's slowing it down, because it's 16.5 seconds. It's very cool.
Live Young Diecast continued on with their secret Camaro racing on their new track, and I love this. Again, you see the car way out in front but loses it after that little jump. The other car cuts in behind beautifully to take out the win, and that other Camaro getting stuck on the hump.
War on I-4 continues its grudge matches, and I just love this. This car here is so far out in front, and then you see the second car pull up on him. Have to check it out to see who wins it. Well worth it.
Urban Underground Racing League continued on with their series for the final between the Screaming Hauler and the Dodge Viper, and there was some incredibly tight racing there. Have a look at that one.
And Josh over at Rustbout, in association with Silverback Racing, put on an invitational on his new track. So this is a great little track with a huge waterfall jump and then that sort of dirt section. And check this out. That was Peter B going down on his roof. Had nowhere near enough speed and actually falls through the track and hits right down by the waterfall.
Wow, that's brutal. Speaking of brutal, looking at the special events, Sub 4RA continued his Diecast Demolition Federation. That is not easy to say. And we just loved this particular one here. Like, that is spectacular. What a massive hit.
And of course, we let the Looney Moonies loose on our new off-road track called the Rocky Road. And you got to expect that with the food trucks, but check this one out. This was a great run, almost made it all the way to the finish line. And then I've got to say a huge shout out to Nocky Jack from Jackson's Pass Speedway. He took these photos while on holiday and they are spectacular. Well done, young man. You've got a great eye and taken some absolutely beautiful photos. We'd love to see other people's photos, so send them through to us and we'll keep an eye out for them.
Alright, moving into track spy, we've got quite a few to knock off tonight. So first up, we've got Goat Racing, which I presume stands for greatest of all time rather than actual goats, but it's a new drag track coming up. Keep an eye out for that one. Then we've got Meal Ticket Raceway, and this thing is huge, and it's laned the entire way, and look at those corners, it's absolutely stunning. And High Forest Diecast Racing out of Germany. This track is still very much under construction, but it's looking like it's going to be quite an interesting one. You've got lanes into fat track, lots of curves, lots of potential for good racing, and we look forward to seeing it finished. And then finally BSR. So there's two tracks here. There's the 6-lane dragway, and then he's also working on a street racing track. I love the fact that he's even got the road crew there working on one of the straights. I think that's brilliant. But you can see, he's really working on the theming. It's very cool.
And then moving into Stunt of the Week, has to go to Stuntman Sam for this piece of brilliance. Jumping 4 food trucks whilst riding no-handed on a quad bike. I mean, it was absolutely brilliant. If you haven't seen it, you can check out most of the video here or have a look on our channel. Check out all of the Stuntman Sam stuff.
Alright, that brings us to the end of yet another week. We hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. As always, head over to redlinederby.com. They've got everything you need for diecast racing, whether it's news, information, races that are coming up, tips, tricks, everything you need. Go and check it out. And if you want to be part of this report, you need to post your channel or your photos into the DSPN forum over on Redline Derby. There are a couple of links in the description. If the link isn't active, you can at least copy it and paste it into your browser and go from there. Alright, thanks very much for watching. I'm Tom Spanners Watson. He's Frank the Guru Gibbs. We'll see you next time.
I'm a bit disappointed that nobody found that secret link in last week's report. I wonder if they'll find this week's.
I don't know, mate. They've been missing it for a couple of weeks now. Oh, I guess we'll see.